recording.
Okay. Thank you very much, everybody, for connecting. We have great speakers today. I am Gabriela Castro, the Executive Director of Global Chamber Queretaro, Mexico, and the President of Trade in Motion. As you know, we do a lot of business around the world. We have 525 chapters in 195 countries. So we are excited. When you connect to an event, you never know who you will meet. So connect as more as you can, because you never know who you will meet and who you will connect with. Today, we are talking about aerospace in Mexico and the USA, Phoenix, Los Angeles, Tucson, and Mexico. So we will be talking about opportunities, what is happening in these 4 regions, what is going on. And I want to introduce you to the moderator today, Doug Bronke, who is the CEO and founder of Global Chamber. Thank you, Doug, for being here and moderating our event with these 4 great panelists.
My pleasure, Gabriela. And to further your point about you never know who you're going to meet, at the Global Chamber London virtual event a couple days ago, I was in a small meetup group that we split out of the main group. It was 2 ladies from the UK and myself. And after they started talking to each other, the one said, "Where are you from?" And she said she was from Blackpool. And she said, "Oh my God, I'm from, some little town right near Blackpool." So apparently this is a little area closer to Scotland from Liverpool that has a specific dialect that they detected from each other, and they were from the same area. One had moved away and one was there. So they're often going to be doing all sorts of things on a professional level, of course. And what we're trying to do today is connect you with people that are around the world, not just in the port.
Perdón, no te aviso. Estoy en una plática que me mandó Robert.
Please, if you want to stop, mute your microphones, please.
Yeah, and once I can't find the link, Cesar, to be able to click on it, and I will, during at some point, but I couldn't find the email. So I'll be able to be a person who will able to help with the muting as well. But if you could, in the meantime, that would be great. So in terms of today's conversation, when we think about what we want to try to accomplish, we have 5 speakers who will be presenting some information for you. And so, what would we want to share? Ideally, what we try to do at Global Chamber is to share opportunities and what's going on in the marketplace around the world, ideally, and primarily the mega region of the US and Mexico. But we'll also be hearing from JB Deal, who is based in China, based in Hong Kong, and he'll be talking about the European market for aerospace as well. But most of our conversation today will be focused in on the mega region, and we're really looking to find out what's going on. Is it growing? Where should opportunities be? And then ideally provide our members connections for you to take a next step, either directly or indirectly, to grow and build your business. So Gabriela, that's a brief introduction. What would you like to do next? What kind of order of speaker would you like to do, and how should we proceed?
So the first speaker would be Eddie, because I think that Eddie has an event going on. So Eddie, if you can open your microphone, and you will be the first speaker.
That would be great. So Eddie Othon. Eddie and I think we're on the Arizona District Export Council together, yes. Right? And you're based primarily in Tucson?
Yes, in Tucson. Yes, I'm down in Tucson.
Where are you today?
I am in Tucson, and I'm going to be reading to elementary school students. So I'm at an elementary school right
awesome.
after this.
Congratulations. Your company
Yes.
is Global Commerce Solutions, and you spend quite a bit of time in the aerospace industry. And so we look forward to hearing from you. Thank you for showing up today.
Thank you for having me. Yes, focused on more of the defense side of the aerospace industry. What I'll talk about this morning is just my experience over the last 4 years as an angel investor, and operator for a company that invented the company is Isabella Safe, and they invented a secondary safe for the AR-15 platform, which includes the M4 and the 308 rifle. And my job was to assist in the expenses and also in opening the road to how to export the product into Mexico. The product is US made. It's manufactured in Colorado. And I started by going to the military base in Nogales, Sonora, to find out how to import it into the country. And then from there, they sent me up to Mexico City. I do want to mention that the Ministry of Defense budget in Mexico is about $12 billion. Doesn't compare to the US's $800 billion budget, but it's a significant number when you make that comparison around the world. So there is money being spent monthly by the Ministry of Defense in Mexico and in the area of aerospace and defense. My niche is government sales. So to the military, to state polices and municipal police forces. And then what I also leveraged as well. So Doug, I'm on the Export Council, but yes, that's where we met. But what I did learn while I was in the Export Council was how to leverage the Arizona Commerce Authority offices, right, in Mexico City that the government of Arizona pays for, in Guanajuato, in Chihuahua, and now they've opened up in Israel, Germany, Korea. And so I worked really close with Natalia, who I was invited to come here. And she got us, the government of Arizona got us into FAMEX, the aerospace show. And we've technically attended 2 years, twice now, and also Expo Seguridad. And that gave us the exposure that we needed to how the chain of command works in the military, how sales are done, and also it taught us about how persistent you have to be. I mean, it's been a 4-year project, and we just barely became an approved vendor as a foreign company in March of this year. So it's a really long journey. So that's my encouragement to companies who want to do business in Mexico, is you want to be in it you want to be on the ride for as long as it takes, and you want to be really persistent. And also, especially because we did it really without any brokers. We did it with no brokers, actually. I did the majority of the liaison work and establishing the relationships. And why we were approved as a foreign company, as a vendor, is because our piece is regulated just like a firearm. So Sedena, the Ministry of Defense, handles the importation. So they'll pick it up here stateside. They give themselves the import permit because they want to regulate the piece just as if it was a weapon. I'm going to say it's going to be probably the same in aerospace, especially on the U.S. government side. So what I did in the process is I registered as an ITAR broker with Department of Defense and Trade Controls. So I'm able to export to anywhere in the world. I'm able to help export anything that's on the U.S. munitions list, and everything pretty much in aerospace coming from the U.S. going anywhere in the world is going to be regulated, and it's going to need an export license from the U.S. government to go into another country. So,
do you work at all with David Farka at all?
No, but I've heard the name from Natalia. Okay. You know, I know he was a first mover. He was definitely involved before I was, but you know, that's how, because I started going into the military base in Sonora, Mexico, and then there was a seminar that the U of A Technology Park put on with an attorney that talked about. So I thought, this is definitely something I want to be doing with the experience, you know, that I'm gathering here.
Okay.
So, you know, as it's a quick 7 minutes, just thank you for the opportunity. I'll definitely get more involved. I had met Gabriele as well back when the AMC celebrated, I think it was the 60th anniversary. I believe the ambassador, Marcel Reese, had come to Phoenix back then. It's good to communicate with people on LinkedIn because you have the trail. You have the trail when you meet people. Like I had the message there with you, Doug. And we have, I'm very good friends with Frank, who introduced me to you, Doug, there in the Phoenix area, Frank Beltran. So just continue to network, continue to be in it for the long haul. And I really want to encourage you on that. And I'm certainly available to assist in any way. And if you're an Arizona company, definitely utilize Natalia and the Arizona Commerce Authority offices. I do know that there are many states, and I do have that list. Natalia has that list of, if you're a US company, the states that have offices in Mexico. We can certainly gather that for you as well, so you can leverage what's available to you, as well as the US Commercial Service, because now we're on track to get a meeting with the military attaché at the embassy in Mexico City. So these are all great ways to do it without brokers. If you've got somebody who's willing to do all the legwork and leverage the US Commercial Service as well as the NGOs that the states provide. So thank you so much for the privilege.
It takes a village, and you know, we don't recognize ourselves as the one place. It takes a village, and but we are the one organization that collaborates with everyone. That's not normal, by the way. We do. And U.S. Commercial Service, Eric Nielsen is retiring, and I think maybe tonight, is it tonight or tomorrow, where they're giving his going away party? Are you going to that? Okay. Do you know about that?
No, I didn't know about that. No, I didn't know about that.
So that's a huge deal, because Eric Nielsen's been a leader in the region for the U.S. Commercial Service for so long. So if anyone's interested, let me know, and I can get you the information. It is in Tucson. The other thing,
go ahead
Gabriele,
and send me the information. Go ahead and send me the information on Eric.
I will. Gabriele, I'll turn it over to you for any question that you may have. Do you have another minute for a question?
I do.
Eddie?
I do.
Okay.
I do.
Gabriele, did you have any question or anything that you wanted to fill in?
Only first thing I want to mention that Natalia Perez, the person who Eddie was referring to, she is the director at Arizona Trade and Investment Office in Mexico, and she's part of our advisory board in Querétaro. So if you want to reach her, you can do it through me, or you can connect her to LinkedIn. She's a great member. She's really supportive. So Eddie, only to reinforce what you said, that to be patient, to continue on the road with your plan, because I as you know, I do business in North America, Mexico, the US, and Canada, and sometimes it's discouraging for international companies to enter the Mexican market because it takes time, a lot of effort, a lot of follow up with Mexicans, and tell us if it's true or not that they need to speak the language. They need
the language. Yes, the language, using someone to. I was born in Mexico, so using someone to have proficient knowledge of the language is definitely a key issue, as well as the cultural. So being multinational and multilingual, having someone like that on your team, or hiring a consultant that has those skills and those abilities and that track record is definitely needed. And I've been around the world. I've been in the Emirates as well and attempted to do business there, and it's the same. Where you've got to come and you got to keep showing up. So you can't just, my experience has been, and you and I discussed this, Gabriele, yesterday, is it has to be you can't just show up and I just want to make the sale. It's going to have to be, you're going to show up and you're communicating that, hey, I'm willing to make a relationship here. and because the relationship is really the key, and then sifting again through the relationships of all the middlemen, especially if government is involved, or even at the corporate in the private sector in Mexico. You want to get to the decision makers. I would say it's the same here stateside. In the Emirates is the same. You want to get to the key decision makers. The key decision makers I have found both in the US and the places that I've worked around the world is they don't want to be dealing with middlemen, and they want a relationship with you, and they want to know that, you know, you're just not in it for a transaction. So it's more relational transactions that you're going to find, and that's why it's going to take a long time.
Thank you
Can I
very
s-
much, Eddie.
Can I say that everything he just said is absolutely true. And as someone who went to FEMEX, believe me, when I get to speak, I'll pick up where he left off. But Eddie, that was
Awesome.
fantastic. Thank you so much.
Awesome. I could be reached on my LinkedIn, and you could also reach out to Gabriela or Doug for my information. I'm going to go ahead and hop off the call, but thank you so much for the privilege and the honor to share with you all this morning. And I'll certainly be paying more attention to what Global Chamber is doing, because I'm not going away, and I could see that you're not going away. You're not going away either.
But when you mentioned about showing up, it's and keep showing up and keep showing up, and we
Yes.
call it global and unstoppable. We will never die. We're going to keep coming back, and that resilience is so important, which you articulated yourself, right? You didn't just
Yes.
show up and like suddenly people gave you business. It was,
Yeah.
you know, creativity and innovation and persistence and resilience and losses until you finally win. So
Oh, yeah.
thank you for articulating that. Just one quick question.
Yes.
What are you talking about at the school? What are you doing?
Reading. It's a reading summer school class. So I'm gonna read them a book, just to instill that readers are leaders. You know, that readers
Awesome.
become leaders.
What
So-
age group is it?
First and second grade.
Awesome. That's
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah. So
Thank
just
you
keep
very
showing
much,
up, everybody. Yes.
Thank you.
And
Thank you,
I
Eddie.
plan on seeing you again. Okay. Have a
We'll
great
see
day.
you soon.
Thank you,
Uh-huh.
Eddie.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Very good. So he's amazing, and so thank you. And so Gabriela, I think would you like to go to the other Gabriela? Is that how to
Yeah.
pronounce her name, or how would you pronounce both of your names?
I'm Gabriele.
Yeah.
Gabrielle. Okay.
Gabriele.
So
Okay.
Gabriele Perez Martinez, she's the
Yeah.
vice president of global sales at Able Industrial Products. Yeah, I don't think it's Able related to the MRO company in Phoenix, right? It's another
No.
Able.
No,
Yeah.
we're actually Able Industrial Products is 50 years old. We're actually changing it to Able because we manufacture so many different things. And it kind of, like you said, there's a few other Ables, but we also have a maquiladora in Mexico.
Wow.
And that's why, you know, I was asked to speak here, because through that and through many of the brilliant people that I've met, and they are brilliant and they're willing to help. We have a Mexican company called APCO, and that's for companies that don't want to produce it and bring it back to the United States. I think a lot of people don't understand what a maquila is, and then the ones that they don't realize that when you produce it in Mexico, it's got to come back into the United States and then re-enter. And that, you know, that's the difference between having a Mexican company, which many people, many Americans, you know, they do that too. But that's a different issue. I did go to FEMEX, and I was invited through the Mexican American Chamber of Commerce, Marlene, which if you don't know here in LA, she's great with connections. Her and
Yeah.
Elizabeth,
He's been a speaker.
her and Elizabeth, I mean, they will, anybody who needs help, those two ladies are there. So they invited us through the Baja Aerospace, which Able is part of. We are
Okay.
part of the biggest cluster of aerospace in the Baja, in Mexico, from what I learned through the trade mission that I just got back from. I've been busy the last couple. So this is a first for me with all this traveling and all this exposure. I've done global sales for 40 years, but aerospace, You know, when you think of aerospace, when I went to FEMEX as a delegate, we went over there thinking we were just going to be part of all the running around, meeting everybody. We got to actually show product. And in
Okay.
showing the product gave me a chance to realize, you know, aerospace shows like FEMEX, anybody who's in aerospace, I highly, highly recommend that you guys attend it in 2 years. It's eye-opening. It's on a military base in Mexico City. Wear tennis shoes, no matter what they tell you. You know, you got to dress business, but wear tennis shoes because there's a lot of walking. They're in hangars. Phenomenal. This year, the French country, they're the ones that hosted it. So Safran was very big. We met with the delegation of the French. We met with the delegation of Canadians, Colombia, Italians, you name it, everybody was there. So you not only get aerospace, you get military connections, satellite, defense, drones, laser connections. There were dogs that had gears on to protect them from lasers when they're going after the cartel. I mean, there's interesting things because you are just exposed to things you just don't expect.
Got it. So you're recommending people consider that.
Absolutely.
Does.
That
Okay.
you've got the governments, every issue, the Navy, the Air Force, they put on an air show.
Okay.
There are so many opportunities in Mexico, getting back to everything that Eddie said. Whether you're an American company that wants to just deal with American companies down there, you also have all of the Mexican companies that you can do business with. There are so many people that will help you. Relationships are so important. I usually try to do a 2-minute. I love the elevator. You know, this is what I can do. This is who I am. I don't try to sell people on anything that's, you know, when you look at my capabilities, we're aerospace, electronics, military, medical. What you do, let us figure out if we can help you. Keep it simple, but most of all, you have to build a relationship of trust. My husband and I are very much into giving back to communities. As we grow, and I see that in Eddie, as we grow, so should the communities around us. We're big about educating the kids. One of the greatest things that I got coming out of FEMEX was they have every university you can imagine that Mexico has. Their students, engineering, structure, whatever, they're all at this show. So these kids were coming up to our little table where we had flammable, non-flammable materials from 3M and Bisco. They're looking at this and they're like talking, and I'm realizing they're working on their senior projects. Well, the biggest problem is they're not getting materials to finish that. But these kids are so excited and they're so brilliant. I had this kid who could be the next Elon Musk showing me a rocket that was going like higher than you can even imagine. Great talent down there. If you're looking for engineers, if you're looking for you know, opportunities to find those Spanish speaking natives on ground boots, which is what Eddie said we all need, you do need that. You need to work with the communities. So I think that kind of covers everything with FEMEX, but that's just, you know, contact me if you have any questions. I'll be more than happy to speak with you.
Gabriele, you're in the LA region.
I'm in Los Angeles and Ontario, California.
Yep.
We have our headquarters there. And then we also have the Maquiladora in Tijuana.
Okay.
And we have another facility that we're going to open in the Bajío. So we're expanding.
Okay.
And we do, like I said, just about everything you can imagine.
So are you going to be hanging on to the call so that we're going to try to get to questions?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm not going anywhere.
We are going to wrap up at the end of the hour. That's our intent, and have some time for questions at the end. And Gabriele, does that work out okay? We'll move on to the next speaker.
Sure.
Okay.
So,
very good. I encourage every.
Tell me. Go ahead. Doug?
I was just going to encourage everybody, put your contact information in the chat area so to make sure that that's happening. This conversation's inspiring me. I put these books behind me. This morning I had a conversation about Kaizen with a member of ours in Kazakhstan who's an oligarch billionaire. He's an amazing guy, and we were talking about Kaizen. But moving some books to the office, I was looking at some books that have been really significant in my own history. One of them is The Goal, which is right behind me here. Bonus points for anybody that knows the author of that. It was Eli Goldratt. And his son is going to be at Global Chamber on the 27th. If you're a member of Global Chamber and you're interested in hearing about theory of constraints, let me know, because the son of Eli Goldratt is going to be at Global Chamber on the 27th. Members only, private session, not being publicized. And that is going to be amazing. That's like one of my big heroes, in addition to Dr. W. Edward Stemming, who's right above me. I took a one-week class from him. These are icons of the industry, and certainly the aerospace industry. And so if you're interested in learning more about theory of constraints, or want to get to the next level with that, come listen to Rami Goldratt visiting the U.S. And Global Chamber from Israel. I think we're going to go to Elizabeth Glynn next. Elizabeth Glynn is the president of EMG Export Strategy. She's on the Global Chamber Los Angeles Advisory Board. Elizabeth is one of the most passionate people that you'll ever meet around exporting. It's like, dudes, you're manufacturing something. 85% of the world's business is outside the US. Why don't you think about exporting? 1 in 100 companies in the US exports. Dudes, why are 99 out of 100 companies going after 15% and only 1 out of 100 going after 85%? It doesn't make sense. And that was an inspiration point for me to start Global Chamber. Elizabeth lives that on a day-to-day basis, including the trade mission to Baja that you're just back from. Elizabeth, what would you like to share today around the aerospace industry and the market?
Thank you, Doug, for that introduction. And yes, I do work. I do work with specifically with manufacturers, typically to help them expand their global growth, because to Doug's point, we represent 5% of the world's population. There's 95% out there, and the demand for our products is there. That said, I do coordinate with the U.S.-Mexico Chamber, of which Arizona is probably in that region. It's the Pacific chapter. But we've been coordinating Baja trade tours. And this, from Sunday to Tuesday this week, we did a Baja manufacturing trade tour specifically for the aerospace and electronic sectors. It was a 2.5-day program. The benefit of which was to engage our business owners to see what's happening in Mexico, and to understand what the trends are, see what the opportunity is, and then to as Eddie mentioned, to begin to initiate those relationships. And it was a phenomenal. I think every participant that in the delegation is going to start. They're already building the relationships through the 2.5 days, because it was a combination of the U.S., Mexico, and the District Export Council, the Inland Empire here on the U.S. side, together with the Baja Aerospace Index, which is supports the maquilas. There is a group called AIMO, another manufacturing group, it was an opportunity to connect California manufacturers with Baja entities, and they were able to share with us what their needs are. And part of the tour was to visit. We visited three aerospace companies and 2 electronics companies, and people, they don't realize how much growth there is. And I will share, I've worked with Able for the past 1.5 years, and as Gabriele shared, they're looking to expand in maybe the Bahia region. Those companies that are interested, especially if you're in the aerospace, Mexico is expanding. There's been tremendous foreign direct investment, And I will just share, one of the companies that we actually had the opportunity to tour was Safran Cabin, which is it's a French company. I think they have 11 facilities in Mexico. So we saw the cabin interiors. FYI, the French are the largest employer of in the aerospace sector, and Safran is the largest employer in Mexico in the aerospace sector, which highlights the level of capability that's in Mexico, and the fact that France is willing to, they see tremendous opportunity, to Gabriele's point, that idea about bringing up this new generation of engineers and integrating them into the operations. It's really amazing. If you haven't had the chance to take advantage of one of these trade missions or a trade show, I mean, in the California Baja region, we used to have a lot of they're typically one-day events, and they were on the border. Now they've developed, they have their new conference center, which is in Rosarito. So it's amazing. They told us there were 1,100 companies with operations just in the Baja region. Think about that. It represents about $10 billion of supplier needs. Now, that said, and to Eddie's point, you have to get connected and you have to build those relationships. And it's an investment, but the need is there. And with so much nearshoring and a lot of the foreign direct investment, you've got companies from China, Korea, Europe, and the US investing. There's tremendous opportunity, and I'm happy to talk to anybody about it. I would just encourage you to look. And the US commercial service, that's one, aerospace is one of the leading sectors. So you can also look there for how to do business, how to, key trade shows that are coming up, and then just get a sense of what the potential needs are and how to build that relationship.
Fantastic. Thank you, Elizabeth. We did a big event last year at Global Chamber Los Angeles at the Port of LA. That's behind me there. A few people with cups in their hands. I won't explain exactly what's in the cups, but nobody fell overboard. The port did have a tentative agreement, I understand, last night. And so 40% of trade into and out of the U.S. comes through the two ports in L.A., Long Beach and the Port of Los Angeles. And so that's good news. I also want to, Elizabeth, leverage off two things that you said. One is the France, and we're going to talk about France here in a moment from JB Deal based in Hong Kong. But I also want, the other point would be that maquiladoras and the shelter companies have been mentioned. And there are three major shelter companies that are members of Global Chamber. I see one of them in the call, and I think another was, and they partner with each other, was intending to speak. I don't know whether that's the case, but I see Susanna here. And Susanna, you've heard a little bit. Are you available to speak? And I'm just wondering, you've heard a little bit of a conversation here. I know you guys based in Sonora primarily. Yes. Are involved in aerospace, and you're in the flow of things. Would you like to add anything to the conversation, please?
Yes. Hello, everyone. I'm Susana Gagiola. I'm the business development manager for Collectron. We're the original shelter plan program located in Sonora. We have divisions in 5 cities in the state of Sonora and also in Querétaro. We also attended the Amex event a couple of months ago. And so I heard Gabriele, and I just sent an email to Doug and Gabriela to see if you will be interested in knowing how we can help you here. Either, I don't know if you're familiar with the shelter program. What we do, we help manufacturing companies to establish operations in Mexico, either under our legal entity, or also we have companies that wants to establish by themselves, or that they are already established in Mexico with their own legal entity, but still receive all the administrative services, such as human resources, recruiting, fiscal, legal compliance, all the administrative services, so you can just focus on the manufacturing of the product. We currently have 35 manufacturing companies under our umbrella, employing a little bit over 10,000 people in Mexico. So we have offices here in Querétaro. We cover the Bajío region in our offices in Querétaro, but our headquarters are in Nogales, Sonora, that borders with Arizona. So if you need any help or any quotation without any commitment on your side, we can help you with that.
Thank you.
One of the most important and strongest business leaders in Mexico that happens to be a woman is the head of Colectron, Maria Elena, and she been a speaker at Global Chamber. She's like off the charts. She's a very powerful force to be reckoned with. And so congratulations, Susanna. You are also a powerful force.
Thank you.
Gabriele, did you have a comment?
Yeah, and Susana is a member of the advisory board of Global Chamber Queretaro.
Very good. Do you know if American Industries Group is here? Is someone from AIG?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
They couldn't connect.
So, besides Colectron, American Industries Group also does shelter work, although Colectron is the oldest and most experienced with it, as Susanna mentioned. And then also Tetacawi is one that's based in Tucson, but also works in Sonora and Querétaro, although I think he's mentioned that they pulled out of Querétaro, but they work in other parts of Mexico. So if you're like looking for some different options, there are three really strong players in the market to allow you to help to set up manufacturing in a professional, solid, economical, and efficient way. So thank you, Susanna of Colectron, for speaking today.
And Doug, I'll just mention in the Baja region, you have co-production in Tecma as well.
Okay. Well, maybe you can introduce us to those and we can figure out a way to get them more involved in Global Chamber. We'd love to be able to do that. And Eduardo Gonzalez, who's from that area originally as well, I don't think he's on the call today, but he's an ex-pro Mexico. He's got his own consulting company, 258 Manufacturing, and he works, I think, with most of them, if not all of the shelter companies, because he also not does the shelter part, he helps get contract manufacturing as well. So he provides an additional service around that. Cesar, I think before we've got about 17 minutes. And so if we can run JB Deal's video, then we'll have time for Q&A at the end. So continue, everybody, to put your contact information, questions in the chat area. Raise your hand if you'd like to ask questions, and we'll take them in order. And in the meantime, let's listen to JB Deal. He's based in Hong Kong. He is representing Eastern France, which is a major aerospace area, and I'm sure he'll be talking about that area and maybe more broadly. I haven't had a chance to watch his video, but we'll all watch it together now. JB Deal.
Thanks, Doug. Can you see the JB on the screen?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna move forward.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Hello, everyone. My name is JB. I'm a business accelerator based in Hong Kong. Originally, I was from France, and today I'm a bridge between Europe and Asia. And of course, it's a pleasure to be here with you and the Global Chamber members. So thank you very much, Doug, for doing this event. So I will be sharing a short and sweet presentation about Invest Eastern France, and especially regarding the industries, the aerospace industry in our region. So this is, in short, Invest Eastern France is a government agency for the Grand East region of France that covers Alsace, Champagne, and Lorraine. So we are basically at the heart of a very dynamic and stimulating business environment. We provide direct access to most of the Western European market, and we offer free and confidential support. to any business owner, companies, anyone that wants to develop something in Europe. It's definitely a place to consider for your project. So this is on the map what Eastern France looks like. Of course, it's part of France. It's next to Switzerland, Germany, Luxembourg, Belgium. We have very decent public transportation with high-speed trains, a lot of international airports. So it's also one of the key focus of the region is its European dimension. So we're, next to Germany. 50% of the people speak German in Alsace. So people sometimes forget about it and don't know too much about it, but this is a very international region. So we have a lot of foreign companies. Over 50% of the local GDP is created by foreign companies. And I'm sure you recognize some of those brands, on the screen and from all sort of industries. So we are very well known in terms of higher education and research. We have 5 active Nobel Prize winners from the region, and we have innovation clusters and materials and processes for aeronautics, automotive, energy, and health is one of them, with Materialia. But we also have in automotive, mobility, and transport, we have the Pôle Véhicule du Futur, which is also a key innovation cluster for your reference. So we have 10 industries of excellence in the region, and aerospace is one of them. So you can see on the map some of the aerospace ecosystem in the region with a lot of key players. We also have a lot of talents. So this is very important if you're looking to hire, labor and people in the research, R&D industry. That's going to be very, very helpful. So I mentioned earlier about Materialia. So we are basically at the forefront of research and development in terms of materials and in terms of aeronautics. So we have also, we're part of the AI Valley also in Europe. I don't know if you've heard of that, but this is something which is very, very important, especially at this time and age. So we have a lot of IT organizations, and that will be also very important for that sector. So what are we doing? So basically, we're, as I mentioned earlier, we are a government agency. We provide free and confidential support. You can have access to European, national, regional, and even city level type of support, free and confidential support. Tax credit, one of the best in Europe, up to 100 million euros per year of tax credit. So tax credit is money that you receive on your bank account.
How is that
It's not
possible?
a transaction, it's a credit.
This stupid thing is not.
So there's a lot
charging.
of ways to support many, many programs. It's really, really, there's pages and pages of programs, and so I think it's important. If you have any project, please let us know. We'll be happy to give you free and confidential support to understand more about your project, and we'll see how we can help you. So the region is very well known. It's for its food. It's a very good place for tourism. So a lot of good food, good wine, a lot of things to do in the region. So you will always feel, happy. So this is who we are. I told you my name is JB. I'm based in Hong Kong. So I'm an authorized representative for the authorized correspondent for the region of Eastern France, and the agency is called Continent Plus, and the program is called Invest Eastern France. So we advise you, we give you a help, we advise on different things like strategic options. We looked at public support programs. We also help you organize a look and see trip. We pick you up at the train station at the airport. We bring you to see different things, whatever you want to see. We can introduce you to strategic partners as long as, the partners are interested to meet with you. And of course, all of the support is free as long as your project is going to create jobs in the region. And we also help your expats to make their life easy. So thank you very much, everyone. It was a pleasure. I apologize for not joining this time, but hopefully next time. Thank you and take care.
That's because we're going on midnight in Hong Kong right now. So JB, we agreed on that relationship. There are other leaders like JB that we have around the world. One of them I don't see here. I was hoping she might join. Joanna Moore, those of you in Arizona probably remember Joanna. She's moved to Switzerland, and she continues to have a very strong presence more in Eastern Europe. She's originally from Poland, but Poland, Hungary, and that region is actually, there's an aerospace corridor there as well. She's still in the business. She's out of Boeing originally, and she's still working in that area. I'm not sure about the Arizona connection, but certainly the Switzerland connection, and we have chapters there as well. As probably all of you know, Global Chambers everywhere. And the good news is we're everywhere and we're in every market segment, and that's also the bad news. But there are segments that, like aerospace, where and technology and industrial and medical and others, where there's lots of international opportunities, where we play hopefully an increasingly important role around the world. I want to do a quick shout out before we go to questions, Gabriela. Please raise your hand if you have a question or you have a comment. But Gabriela, if you don't mind, I'd like to shout out to Alma Peralta, the city of Tucson economic development. And in Arizona, for us, it's been a lot easier to work with the cities. You know, in other places, the state is pretty easy to work with. And so states like Wisconsin, Virginia, Maryland, California, Texas, Florida, we work with really well. Someday we'll figure out Arizona, but the cities in the meantime have been really amazing. And Tucson is one of them, and most of the cities in the Metro Phoenix area as well. So Alma, thank you for joining us today. Donahy Montes Estrada is a longtime friend and member of Global Chamber, and anything in Mexico, especially on technology and government related too, because she used to work for the Mexican government. And I met her years and years ago when she came to the US to help Mexican companies be successful in the US through the FUMEC TECBA program. And now she helps she helps companies, primarily technology companies, be successful in the US from Mexico and others. So Donahy, thank you for the long-time support and collaboration. Dutch Schmidt of Credit Safe is someone you should know, because you need to check people out no matter who you're working with, and Credit Safe is the best at that. They're based out of Wales, but Dutch is based here on the west coast of the US. Rigo Duran is from Venezuela. He's Global Chamber in Venezuela. Now, Venezuela is a little tricky in terms of getting money in and out, but there are many opportunities there. And if that could be of potential interest for you, please contact Rigo. He's working in electric vehicles. I'm not sure aerospace yet, but definitely a variety of different opportunities Rigo is working on. And temporarily, he's in our headquarters at Thunderbird School of Global Management in downtown Phoenix until July. Thank you. I got your message about your flight to Venezuela earlier today. Roberto Cruz. What can you say about Roberto Cruz at Russell Bedford, other than he's like one of the most outstanding people you'll ever meet? He's just so positive and so growth oriented and so supportive. It just rings through with everything that he does. And he's on our advisory board there in Querétaro. And he's wearing a very muted shirt there. There you go. And certainly, Gabriela, I'll turn it over to you for questions and others. But Roberto, if you'd like to say something, and everybody welcome to say something. And I don't know if Vinny is Vinny Silvestri, but Vinny, I was thinking of Vinny Silvestri of Expeditors, longtime member of Global Chamber. We haven't mentioned logistics, but we have many logistics suppliers that are really good at getting product back and forth. And we have Luis Ramirez, who's a longtime member as well, who does border infrastructure projects. And he recently spoke about those. In fact, lots of money going into that to get the border crossings to go from days to many hours, now to less than an hour in many cases. So thank you, Luis, and thank you to all the logistics suppliers that might be in the room. Gabriela, what questions either do you have, or who do you want to spotlight, or what questions do you see? I don't see any hands raised. So
I
what would you
don't see,
do now?
yeah, any questions, but Doc, I want to, as I said, I want people to introduce themselves in 1 minute, one
Oh.
minute elevator pitch. So
Okay.
I will go one by one, and you please, we have 6 minutes. So for the ones who haven't speak yet. So let's begin. Roberto, we were talking about that. So your 1 minute elevator pitch, please.
I will need less time, so don't worry about that, okay? I will be very fast. I just want to welcome everyone. And as I always mention, this is a great family and a great trio. And you can, well, the guys that that is their first join here, you won't regret it. And if you have not participated in the Global Chamber, I invite you to do it. You can connect with everyone all around the world and do business. That's what we do here, and we help each other. What I do here in Querétaro, it's that I'm a tax advisor, but I have a firm here representing Russell Bedford, and we do soft landing for companies. But that's what I do. But the main thing that I wanted to tell you is that I'm very glad to know you and that I can see new people here. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Roberto.
Nice to say hi to you, Doug, as well.
Great. Rodrigo.
Hi. Hi to everybody. I'm very pleased to be part of this meetup. I'm representing Constructora Insur. We are based in Querétaro, and we basically are focused on developing and building all the industrial facilities. We have plenty of experience in all the industrial sectors, but now we are working with 2 or 3 of the biggest aerospace companies. So if anybody needs some services of construction in all around Mexico, we are very pleased to help you with all the project and all the construction process. Thank you very much. Very, very happy to be part of this. Thank you.
Thank you, Rodrigo. Let's connect. So please send me your coordinates or take my email address, please.
For sure, I will do that. Thank you, Gabriela.
Jose Angel Arreola. Are you there? Yes.
Yes, I'm here. Thank you very much, Gabriele. It's a pleasure to meet you all, guys. I am the CEO of Cognitus Consulting. It's a global firm focusing on SAP solutions in different industries for sure. And in this case, mainly for aerospace and defense. Indeed, we will attend to this. There will be a nice event in France in the coming days. So obviously more than glad to be part of this ecosystem. It's my first time, and I'm based in Mexico City. We do have offices in Monterrey and Guadalajara as well. More than glad to visit you guys in Querétaro or anywhere that we can assist you on this, analytics space, artificial intelligence, ERPs, sourcing platforms, so on and so forth. I'm chatting and leaving some info on the chat. I'm more than glad to meet you very soon. Thank you, Gabriela.
Okay, I reached you out. Thank you. Gerardo Osorio.
Hi, everybody. I'm very glad to see you, most of you, again. And as well, thank you, Gabriela and Doc, for inviting us to these meetings. Well, we have this consultancy company that we have helping a lot of companies that are expanding globally with their sales teams or revenue teams to scale and with lean principles. And actually, we have launched a Lean Sales Academy like a couple of months ago that it's available for all of you if you want to catch up. And of course, we also help companies that want to expand to Latin America and want to understand exactly how to make a soft landing or vice versa. So that's basically what we do. And of course, all the value that a Global Chamber has been adding to our ecosystem, not just in Mexico, but the relationship that Gabriela has also helped us is very valuable. Just I'm very, very happy to be listening to many of the initiatives that you all have. And basically because we think that the relationship between Mexico and the rest of the world is increasing, and we have a huge opportunity to support it. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Gerardo. Please, I encourage you to put all your information in the chat, please. Josué González. Okay. Carlos Moreno.
Hello.
Hi, Carlos. We cannot see you. Okay.
Okay. I am Carlos Moreno. I am in Querétaro. I work for the ILS company. We're a 3PL logistics company based in Tucson, Arizona. We have distribution centers here in the Bajío and also in the north area of the country. We are cross-border logistics specialists, and we do also shipping and warehousing and import-export activities.
Thank you, Carlos. Let's connect.
Thank you.
José Barceló.
Hi. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yeah.
José.
So I work with Susana Gonzalez Gagiola. We're in collection. I'm the marketing manager. She's the business development manager.
Thank you very much, José. Gustavo Ceballos.
Can you hear me?
Yes, Gustavo.
Let me get some video here.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. I'm the president of GEOS. We're a global logistics provider in the U.S. and Mexico. We have offices in Mexico and the border. We have we're based. Our global headquarters are here in Tempe, and we specialize in Mexico business. We have experience of more than 35 years. And we do consulting, and we do cross-border, MDOCC, ocean, air, import, export, full-fledged logistics provider.
Gustavo, congratulations on recent growth in the hiring that you're doing as well.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, this is Doug. Good to see you. And if you're in town next Thursday in Tempe, there's a group from Taiwan. There's a number of companies coming in to land in Arizona. Join us there. It's 2 to 4 in Tempe, and I'm bringing over a couple of our interns over to that. So if you're in town on the 22nd, jump in.
Oh, excellent. Thank you, Doug. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Dodge, you are part of Global Chamber.
Dodge.
I sure am. I'm enjoying everybody's. I hear all these names. You're introducing people, and then it just Dutch Schmidt. It just doesn't sound as great as the other ones. Anyways.
Oh, this is Global Chamber. You know, many different names.
I've met so many great people part of the chamber. So I'm Dutch Schmidt. Dutch. I am 100% Dutch. I speak Dutch fluently. If there's any Dutch people on the phone. So I work with CreditSafe. We're the largest global supplier of business data. We have over 425 million companies around the world in over 220 countries. We basically help companies when it comes to knowing who you're doing business with, compliance concerns, KYC, all that good stuff. More than happy to connect with anyone. I've connected with many people and have enjoyed being part of this global chamber. I love everyone's enthusiasm and hearing about everybody's story, especially about giving back to the community. So appreciate everyone's time on the call today, and thank you.
Thank you, Dodge. Agustin Mendoza.
Really fast. No, well, I'm a member of Baker Tilly International. Is part of the top 10 largest international accounting and advisory firms. Thank you, Gabriele, for the invitation. Nice to meet you, everybody. So we are placed in 20 cities here in Mexico. We have five of them in the Bajío region. I am located in Querétaro. We are 100 people in this office in Querétaro, and we are specializing in all of the multidisciplinary advisory services such as taxes, accounting, soft landing of companies, legal incorporation, foreign trade, transfer pricing, among others. So, well, we are completely glad of being here and also ready for assisting you in any matter that you can have here in Querétaro. We have a lot of expertise working with global companies.
Thank you, Agustin. I will send you an email.
Yeah, please do it.
Alejandro Bolaños.
Hi, Gabriela. I'm sorry with my camera. Thank you, Gabriela and Thor. Nice to see you and all you guys. I am a tax advisor in Mexico, and I am a founder of the boutique firm here in Mexico, specialized in tax matter. We are, let's say we try to work together with the management and owners when they want to come to Mexico. And the object is to support in tax and accounting and other, business matters. We are here to help you in everything you need. Thank you.
Thank you, Alejandro. Shannon.
Thank you, Gabriela. Thank you for inviting me. Doug, hello. Long time no see. Just real quick, Joanna Moore, we've been communicating. She says she apologized for missing. So just to let you know. So Doug and I go way back. So I'm now with the Federal Reserve Bank for San Francisco. I'm based here in Arizona. My role is just simply to listen and learn, really to engage the business community as well, some bankers, obviously, but really my role is to really just get a feel for some of the things we're doing from a Fed level that are impacting not only, nationally, but internationally. So with the interest rates and other things that we're focused on right now. So, but I'm based in Arizona, love to connect with some of you folks just to listen and learn, and love to meet with you and down the road. So Doug, we'll connect later on. So
thank
Awesome.
you.
Yeah, stop by our offices at Thunderbird if you have, especially if you haven't been there. But let's schedule a lunch.
I will. Thanks. Yeah.
Okay, now the famous Natalia Perez that people were talking about her.
Hi, how are you? Sorry, I entered a little bit late because I have a early meeting. It's great to be here in another Global Chamber meeting. It feels like a friends gathering. I love this kind of Zooms. It's not like the other one we have around the day. So I work for the Arizona Trade and Investment Office in Mexico City. Arizona Commerce Authority has 3 representation offices in Mexico. One is Mexico City, another one in Guanajuato, in the Bajío region, and one in Chihuahua. What we do is we help Arizona companies to do business in Mexico or expand their business. And I am also proudly member of the board of Global Chamber Queretaro. Thank you.
Great. So for companies in Arizona wanting to enter the Mexican market, Natalia can help through the Arizona Commerce Authority. So reach her, please.
Yes. And one of our main priority sectors is aerospace. We have participated several times in FAMEX with between 10 and 14 companies each time. And it's a great place to make contacts both in government and with private companies. And I really, Mexico, it's a great market, as many people said now, but it takes persistence and it takes patience. Yeah. And we are here to help companies to navigate through this process.
Thank you, Natalia. Javier Lopez.
Good morning, everyone. Javier Lopez. I'm with F&C Consulting Group. We are a consulting firm specialized in corporate compliance, anti-corruption, and internal investigations. We have office I'm in San Antonio, Texas. And somewhere here is Fernando, he's in Mexico City. We have office scattered all around Latin America. Yeah, that's what we do: internal investigation, anti-fraud, anti-corruption, preventive and corrective actions.
Great, thank you for attending the event, Donahi.
Gabriela, just a quick note. that I think they've probably joined because we had a meeting and they just renewed their membership. So we were going to do an onboarding call. So Fernando and Javier, sorry about that. We went a little bit over. We'll be wrapped up here fairly soon. Donnie, you're amazing. Are you there?
Yes, I am, but I was waiting for your announcement. I will do it super quick. I help digital tech companies to do international business. We are specialized in the US market. And we also help any kind of business owners that wants to transform their inner self. And I have another company that is for cybersecurity, and we have a product that prevents in real time using AI ransomware. That is basically a hacker kidnapping your information. So I am Mexican and I have done work with the US for more than, well, since 2011. So looking forward to meeting the new faces, and it's good to see you all, the familiar ones.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Donahi. Doug, how many more minutes we have? I know that we are going further.
Well, yeah, we went over. So just use your best judgment.
Okay, so let's go faster with your 1 minute elevator pitch. Let's go through Miriam Gomez.
Hello, I am work the Russell Bedford in the accounting field with Roberto Cruz in Querétaro. I'm nice in estar aquí in this meeting. Thank you.
Miriam. Thank you.
Yeah, and Gabriela, so most of the people in this meeting are members and some are not. And so
some are not.
I think one of the things we're doing is building a trusted network. If you're working with a member, almost certainly they're a superstar. And if you've got working with a non-member, just do a little bit more due diligence and, get them to understand what the Global Chamber is about, and let's bring them in. If there's somebody that's capable and knowledgeable and professional and ethical and all those things, like Gabriela, you're amazing. Well, please go ahead.
Thank you, Doug. Yeah, that's what I'm trying. And at the beginning, that's what I said. Connect to Global Chamber. You never know who you will meet. Eduardo Luna. Not there.
We might not meet Eduardo today.
Yeah, will not. So I want to give the opportunity also maybe to some members. Doug, what do you think?
Yeah, sure.
I think you should introduce yourself, Gabriela, so the ones that they don't know you. I know that you're famous, right? But I think we need to know about you as well.
Thank you, Roberto. That's a great idea.
Yeah. As I said at the beginning, I'm Gabriela Castro, the Executive Director of Global Chamber Querétaro. If someone wants to reach me, I left my coordinates in the chat. And I have a business consulting firm, Trade Motion. I do business in North America, Mexico, the USA, and Canada, and a lot in mining. So I am the few consultants that do business in the mining industry in North America. Thank you, Roberto. Thank you very much. Rigo.
Hi, gracias, Gabriela. Cuando yo empecé mi compañía, my employer told me that you needed 3 things to do business with Mexico and Latin America. That was paciencia, paciencia, y paciencia. Patience, patience, and patience. I agree with that. So thank you for that. I'm looking exactly for investors for Venezuela. It's difficult. It's a difficult market, but I have a target to bring new monies to Venezuela because they need new investments, and also they need to create the industry and grow the industry. So I have one particular project with a lot of the French companies that are here, which is for EV cars, electric cars. There is a tremendous opportunity over there to build them and to export them to all Latin America. So if you know anybody, please contact me. Thank you.
Thank you, Rigo. Jose Luis Chan. Elliot Pineda, that we all know well.
Hi, Gabriela. I'm Elliot Pineda. I have a nearshore software development company. We are settled in Hermosillo, Sonora, Mexico. We go back and forth. We have a company in Phoenix, and I go back and forth frequently. We are specialists in software development, web and mobile, custom solution over SharePoint that the industry uses a lot for due diligence in documentation process. And also we are specialists in analytics with Power BI. Nice to meet you all, and I'm more glad to connect.
So
Thanks,
thank you.
Gabriele.
Thank you. And I think that I finished with everybody. I think so. So I want to let you know that for the ones that want to know more about Global Chamber, now you know how it works. Please reach me, and I took your coordinates too, and I'll send you a message. Thank you very much for the speakers who are experts and who gave really a good information. That's what we wanted for this event, boots on the ground. What is the reality of doing business between Mexico and the USA? Thank you very much. And Doug?
Fantastic. Thank you, Gabriela. So I'm here at the Thunderbird School of Global Management, where Global Chamber has our world headquarters on the first floor. Stop by. I'm usually there on Fridays for sure. So if you're interested in connecting up with our team there, please do. I see Global Chamber Puerto Rico is here, and that's where our connection center is. And people know Cesar Trabanco. Cesar, are you available? Are you around? Maybe not. So Cesar is someone, all the members of Global Chamber know Cesar because he's kind of in the center point of many of the connections that we make in building the database, as I was explaining to
Hey Doug, I'm here. Sorry, I thought I unmuted myself and I didn't.
Okay. I just wanted to introduce you. Anything you'd like to share based on what you heard today, or any additional words you'd like to add?
I just wanted to introduce myself because I see a lot of new faces for me. So following on what Doug was saying, I'm Cesar Trabanco, VP of Business Services. I work day to day with Doug and the team on helping members with connections, with activities, and also helping with the chapter development around the world. I'm based out of Puerto Rico, but I'm Mexican by adoption, I would like to say, in many ways. So it's always a pleasure. I'm going to put my details in the chat box. And yeah, you know, congrats, Gabriele, on putting this event together. We are doing a lot of monthly events when it comes to regional and even some with language. Like we have a French group, a Portuguese group, the Spanish one, which I lead, and many others that you can check out in our calendar of events. Thank you.
Thank you. And he's Cesar is working on both his French and Portuguese, and he'll be leading one of those, I'm sure, someday in the future as well. You know, Gabriela, you know, the idea behind Global Chamber was to make cross-border business easier. It's not easy. That's why only 1 in 100 companies in the US exports. You've got to do more things, including what we talked about earlier, the resilience and the patience and the persistence and cross-cultural understanding. Normal people, quote unquote, normal people can't do it on a sustainable basis. But those of us that do it, love it. And we couldn't do anything other than this. It's exciting. And so our role in that is to have all of the different resources available for you, including those at Global Chamber. We're the only organization in the world that's everywhere, the only one that collaborates with everyone, or at least, you know, we want to collaborate with everyone. Not everyone wants to collaborate. And that's an issue, because with global business, being a lone wolf is a lonely deal. Gabriela, when I lived in Japan, I felt very alone. I was running a joint venture for the DuPont company, and I was the only American there. And I would leave sometimes and just think to myself, wow, this feels very lonely. Who can I talk to about what challenges I'm facing? And what I had to kind of invent everything on my own. And so when I retired, I thought to myself, there's got to be a better way. And so we built this network around the world. It'll be fully built out by the end of next year to be able, in our 10-year anniversary, to say we have 525 chapters around the world with leadership in each one of them, and the ability to connect members everywhere. So thank you all that are members. Thank you for your support and collaboration. Thank you for seeing the vision. Thank you for your vision to be able to understand what we're doing, to be able to support you. And I gotta say, Cesar and I and those of us at Global Chamber have the best job in the world, because every single day our members are succeeding because of connections that are being made in a way that they've never had before, and that feels really good. So back to you, Gabriela. Thank you for your leadership and support, and I let you have, of course, the final word.
Thank you, everyone, for connecting. Thank you for the extraordinary speakers. We now understand better what the business and where the opportunities are in the aerospace industry between Mexico and the USA. And let's keep connected for the new ones. If you want to have more information about Global Chamber, you want to get involved, please reach me out, and I have your coordinates that were in the chat. So thank you, everybody, and let's keep in touch. Global Chamber, it's the way to go global. Be global and unstoppable.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye,
Thank you so
everyone.
much.
Thank you.
See you.